Hi, welcome to Pictures, Noise and Words. I'm Hedgy, and this is Primordial. I used to have a Primordial album, and I say used to because I cannot find it anywhere. I mean a physical copy of a Primordial album. I can't find it, so I don't know where it's gone. I wonder if I've lent it to someone and then never seen it again. That happens, doesn't it? But it's not in my iTunes library. I'm pointing over there because that's where I tend to look at my iTunes library on. I've got more than one screen and it tends to be over there. That makes no difference to you whatsoever, but that's why I went iTunes library. So I don't know, I can't remember what it was called, because it's a few years ago, and I really liked it. The album I haven't heard this song at all, by the way, the one I'm about to play, at all. Because it's off a brand new album that's just come out. But the album I had years ago had a real kind of lo-fi sound to it. It had quite a muffly, but not so muffled that you didn't like it, but just like a dirty, muddy sound to it. Which I normally don't like. I've got a thing about production. I really like nice production. Not so crisp that it's been, ruined. So it's been tidied up so much they've ruined the sound, but a sound where you can hear what's going on all the time. And that album by Primordial didn't really have it, but what it did have was like a strange hypnotic quality to it, the way the guy sings and the way that the guitars are played. It just had something that grabbed you. Not everyone, I don't think, excuse me, but I think it was clearly a really good piece of work, and I don't know why I didn't follow it up and keep buying their stuff, but I got asked for Primordial. Somebody in my comments called Jake Simmons asked a few times. Admitted the last time he asked was a month ago, and I thought, yeah, I must get around to doing a Primordial because it's a band I used to really like, but for some reason we just drifted apart. I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me. So I went to dig it out and I couldn't find it at all. Anyway, that aside, they put out a brand new album called Exile Amongst the Ruins, which looks like that. It's just come out. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but very, very recently. And this video, which is a song called To Hell or the Hangman, was released just a couple of months ago in February. So this is all up-to-date Primordial, and I have not heard it. But on the YouTube video, Primordial have done what I think is a really good idea is that the Primordial band themselves have written what the song's about, which I don't know why. I mean, if your song's about something, I think it's a good idea so that people understand. So I'll just give you the quick thing. In 1493, so quite a while ago, in 1493, Walter Lynch was hanged by his own father, James Lynch, Mayor of Galwegian. They're from Ireland, by the way. So, Mayor of Galwegian on the west coast of Ireland, for the murder of a young Spanish nobleman who was visiting the family home. So, he hanged his own son. Walter, the hanged guy, had fallen in love with a young woman by the name of Agnes, who lived within the Lynch household, and in a fit of jealous rage one night, he took the young Spaniard's life. I guess the young Spaniard was also interested in Agnes. The story goes that an angry Lynch mob, get it? Walter Lynch, James Lynch, Lynch mob. Is that where it came from? Is that the origin of the name, word? Anyway, story goes that an angry Lynch mob took to the streets and barred the way to the usual execution spot, where you usually hang people. So James took his son Walter and hung him with his bare hands from the open window into the street. He was lynched from the hanging sill. So that's like the sill under your window. To Hell or the Hangman, this song, is the story through Walter's eyes. It's not going to end well, this, I'm just guessing. A tale of unrequited love with a murderous end. Okay then. He's put, it's a curious and strange song for a single from the new album, Dark Romanticism. Now bear in mind, romanticism is not a word that immediately springs to mind when I think of Primordial, because Primordial are kind of like a black metal band without the screechy black metalness. Yeah. He's put, so get on the dance floor. I suspect that's an ironic, so get on the dance floor. So are you ready for some story about hanging from 1493? Yep. Okay, let me just sort this out, because reading all that made me shift all my windows about. And let's go. It's a pretty long song. This is 7 minutes long, but I'm hoping that it still has that same thing that the Primordial I remember had. Well, let's find out together. It's done it again. It's done it again. Let's see if I can fix it live on air. Are you ready? He looks, he clicks, it springs to life. That's something I need to fix, eh? Let's just rewind that a little tiny bit, because I ruined it. What's going on with this video thing? I think it's quite... sometimes I skip bits of these videos to check that they're okay, and I think this one's pretty dark in tone, but I think it's pretty dark in looks. Oh, the other thing that you'll find, because they're Irish, they have a bit of a Celtic sound to them. You can hear it already just starting to come through in the guitars. You'll hear like a Celtic folk sound. Such a great guitar sound, isn't it?
I'll stand in hell and say no sane. Witness in this town, needed proof.
Sorry to interrupt the guitar break there. I mean, you can watch this to your heart's content, can't you? The thing I remember about Primordial, especially while watching this, is their songs roll on and roll on and roll on in like almost in like a linear direction, and you're along for the ride. And so if you're expecting a song structure that gives you like that stops and starts and goes to different places, and the Primordial might not be the band for you, because what I remember about them is their songs relentlessly go in a direction, and you have to kind of get into the feel of it, and you have to kind of get into the groove with it, if you like, and just go with it, because this is how their songs go. They're dan 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 dan, go go go, keep going, 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 and you either go with it or you get off.
I was never one for salvation, nor did I seek your redemption. So I'll do what I have to see out the day. Blood and streams mixed with rain. Damn your love and damn your lies. And now I hang by my father's hand in the square where your first glance left my heart in despair.
So before this started, I said they were a bit black metal, and that wasn't. If anything, it was like prog, prog metal, not prog technical metal, and not, prog rock, but just a bit proggy. Prog death wasn't, but without the death vocals, don't know, a bit hard to pigeonhole, isn't it? Which is a good thing. So either my memory's faulty, which is entirely possible, or they've changed their sound a little. It was still definitely, absolutely a Primordial song. I'm not saying they've changed into another band by any stretch of the imagination, because his vocals haven't changed. I just think they were maybe a little bit more deathy in before. Maybe it is my faulty memory. Whatever, who cares? If you can't pigeonhole them, good. It's just I remember them being a bit more black metal, a bit more. Maybe it was the production and everything on that album that I remember that was just that kind of downgraded their sound, and it gave me a bit of a black metal feel. Don't know. But anyway, yeah, Primordial, To Hell or the Hangman. I like it. I like it a lot. Whether I could listen to an album full of songs like that, I'm not sure. But like I say, this is only one song off their new album, so I'm not going to say yes or no to that, obviously. But I remember, I keep harking back to this album. I know that I remember from the past, and I remember that had a similar sound. But I can't remember whether I listened to it all, all of the time kind of thing, or whether I just listened to a song here and there every now and again. I can't remember. But in this, it does have this, that, as I was saying, this relentless progression to it, which is great if you get on board with it and you can go along with it. But whether I could listen to 5 songs like that in a row, I don't know. And obviously it's for you to decide, isn't it, whether you could. But I do like it, and I do like them. because they do have a fairly unique sound of their own, which is always something. You know, there's so many cookie cutter bands out there that you can instantly go, oh, this is like, or this is like. But whereas Primordial, I'd struggle to say who they sounded like, that's for sure. So yeah, a bit of uniqueness is always a good thing. There you go, Primordial, new album, can't remember the name of, Exile Amongst the Ruins. This album cover is on that screen, but it's only about this big, which is why I'm going, what does that say? Yeah, and the song To Hell or the Hangman from that album, brand new. If that's your thing, check it out. I will, just because it's kind of reignited that feeling I used to have from listening to Primordial in the past. So thanks for watching this, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.